let's get into K100 talks. What topic do you got, Di?
I changed my mind this week.
Right.
All right. And I sent you guys like a couple topics. We don't want to talk about COVID. We don't.
No, we don't.
But this is a perfect time to talk about this, and I want your fresh thoughts.
Right.
Okay. What are, like, if I asked you, if you're describing to somebody what hey, what do you talk about on your podcast? And like, this is your podcast. This was your idea. And you want to talk about things you like. What do you like to talk about?
This is our podcast, and it did originate as my idea originally, and the concept.
But we share the same ideas, right?
Right. Well, yeah, and on a lot of things we don't. So I kind of always leave it to you. If you want in the future, I'll do a subject and you do a subject. I have no problem. I have nothing.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual. I'm talking about the actual podcast.
Right.
What is the kind of mission statement? Well, like, if you describe somebody
like,
hey, Konnan, I want to listen to your podcast.
It's like it's like a men's magazine, bro. It's a little bit of everything: pop culture, movies, current events, sports. It's like if you were reading old school Maxim.
So here's what I want to do. And I thought about this, and I think it's to generate, because you get this stuff right off the top of your head because the first thing comes to your mind. Let's do a year in review. The things that we like to talk about on this podcast. Let's go down categorically, and like what's the one thing that comes to your mind if I bring up the topic like this past year, and like what's that like you liked. What's the one thing that like that you didn't like, right? Like so categorically. So we talk about like wrestling on this show, right? So this past calendar year, right? In your opinion, off the top of your head, like we're here at the end of the year, like we're trying to look back in the year. What's the number one thing that comes to your mind if like you're telling people like, hey, this is our podcast. This is what I talk about. We're doing a year review. Like this was the best thing about wrestling this past year. What's your answer off the top of your? And I want off the top of your head because that's usually the freshest thing.
I think the best thing about wrestling is that there's many places to work. Where before there weren't that many places to work. WWE had like a stranglehold on the whole business, and now a couple guys can go.
Okay, but I'm gonna hit you. I don't want that. I don't want that.
That's my answer. You're gonna change my own answer.
No. I'm talking about like televised wrestling,
like the biggest story.
Like stuff like we've gone through a year.
Yeah.
First thing, if you said something, what was the best thing? What was the best thing about this?
Roman Reigns.
Yeah. We probably all agree with that.
Yeah.
Roman, Paul thing. Very compelling TV. If I missed something, like if I missed one of the vignettes, I went back and like I didn't want to miss anything in that storyline, right?
And I would give extra credit to the Usos, who were great. They really came up, and everybody. And here's the other thing, because this is Paulie and Roman picking the guys. Mm-hmm. Everybody they picked to work with them, from Finn Balor to Seth Rollins to Kevin Owens,
Brian.
To everybody, Brian, Sami Zayn, they all shined. Mm-hmm. Everybody shined with them.
And remember what we talked about and the reason it was so good during the inception of it is because the Usos were great, Roman was great, bro. Those are all family. They wanted their your family. You're genuine when you're conversing. Something. It was good, genuine content, right?
Bro, and we were saying put them together 3 years ago. Remember?
3 years ago, we were saying. Look at them right now. They're the top. They're the top draw in wrestling.
It's as much as people want to shit on us. A lot of things that we say come to fruition.
And it's all documented, man. It's all documented, and the archives are on YouTube or whatever. So
Yeah. So we said we've envisioned this, and it came to fruition. So the worst thing in professional wrestling this past year,
I would say for me, it's just AEW not living up to the potential. Just being.
I would say I was similar. I would say this: people not being critical of AEW decisions, because like they've done, like there's been constant praise, constant the media and everything, and like all we've done is like sit there and look at like. Dude, like when your numbers aren't good, we're pointing things out that you don't do.
Okay, you got to remember, Disco. This is what happens with AEW. They kind of get a pass, and I'll tell you why, and see if this is a valid reason. This is what I think, and this is worth repeating. To me, AEW is WWE inadvertently making their own competition because they didn't give their fans what they wanted, and in a lot of cases, wrestlers. Okay,
and they let them go.
Fans embraced that. They were like, we're with you, okay? they're still in their honeymoon period, okay? But we're starting to see the little ruptures. We're starting to see people turn on Cody. We're starting people getting mad about Sammy broke up with his girl. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to see little fissures. I think that, to me, it's double. What Joe said, AEW not living up with the potential with the massively talented roster that they have. That's number one. And number two, the inability of somehow, some way, Raw putting together good shows when they have all these resources. It's that's, to me, is still mind-boggling. You know,
bro, that's the thing.
And I said this the other day. You know, give a show like AEW. Give one show. I'll give you. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what other names, but I'll just throw two names out there. Just to throw two names. You know, give one show to Vince Russo. Give one show to maybe, you know what I'm saying, and see how they do.
Gabe Sapolsky. Let's say Gabe Sapolsky.
So that's what I was thinking of. Gabe Sapolsky. Give it. You know what I'm saying, and let's see what they can do. And if they don't do a good job, bring somebody else, because whatever you got going on, whoever you're using now is not working.
Because here's the thing. It's like everybody kind of doesn't realize, like, okay, Tony Khan's the booker, and they're like, okay, that's great. You know, you got Dynamite. Bro, you got 4 shows. Right. You're booking 4 shows. It's like you can't.
Let me tell you. Here's the problem. But let me tell you something, just so you can relate. So one of the problems that I have in AAA is that since I work in AAA and I work in this other promotion in TJ and another promotion in TJ, like I run 2 promotions in Tijuana, another one in Monterrey, and I do other stuff with other companies. I cannot focus my whole, on AAA.
Right.
And their whole thing
is the same problem. Tony Konnan.
Right.
Exactly.
So they're like, problem. So they're like, next year we're gonna buy your exclusivity and you're only gonna work for us, right? And I'm like, cool. That way I can give you a better product, but I'm out there making my money, right? And I think Tony has the same problem. He's one guy, because he's not dumb. He's one guy new. That's another thing. He's new to the business. I'm not. So he's being. He's got people with personal agendas. He doesn't really know who's really his friend.
Right. Angle workers.
Right. So he's figuring that out. He's got 4 shows he's got to run. He's got a TV network that he's got to answer to. He's doing some with soccer, some with football. I mean, that's a lot of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. His problem is he hasn't been able to delegate authority, and you have to.
Yeah.
You have to get a couple guys, and you either train them from the bottom up, so they're molded in your vision, or get guys that can do a good job, and if they don't, you get them out of there.
But here's the thing:
you need help.
It's a simple formula, especially because what you do is it's like, okay, look, I need to per example, I quit doing Vince's show,
right?
Okay, because I have a job,
right?
I do this podcast. We're doing extra content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing Vince's show too. And I was getting compensated for Vince's show, and the compensation wasn't worth the time, the hours I was putting into Vince's show, because I have a 40-hour week job. It's like, I'm stretched. I'm stretching.
Right, you still want to go to the gym. You still want to work out. You want to go to the sports betting place.
A couple hours a week are valuable to me in my time.
Very valuable,
right?
Yeah.
All three of us.
So it's like so I look at that, and it's like, so I would say, like, okay, and like Vince did this exact same thing. So he got Al Snow, something. Okay, so he I'm gone. He's replacing with Al Snow, and his metrics are fine. The numbers didn't really weren't affected that much. So what you do is like, say, look, I can either be a monarch in charge of everything, every single thing, or I can say, look, okay, all right, I'm doing way too much work. I got 9 hours of shows. One of these shows, the 2-hour show, I'm going to give it to somebody else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to you. You do what you want. Just consult with me a little bit and everything. But I'm going to look at your numbers. I'm going to grade you. I'm going to see if you work or not. You know what I'm saying? And you delegate a show to somebody else, and you see if the numbers are good. That's not even like on them, like, oh, well, look at that. That's on you for like delegating your authority to somebody else, and the numbers improved, as opposed to stringing yourself out, putting subpar content, and like that's the way, like, like Tony Khan maybe should start looking at this.
Let me give you another thing. Like, I've been guilty of this, but I've also seen guys that I work with that I consider geniuses do the same move. I've seen Paul Lee do this when I worked with him, and I saw Antonio Pena do this when I worked with him. And it's happened to me. And I had a conversation with Tony not too long ago where he kind of brought up the same thing, so I understood him. But still, sometimes, bro, when you tell somebody to do something, either they don't understand, they're not the right person, they don't do it right, and you get furious, and you're like, I got to do myself, or not, it's not going to turn out how I want. So you get in this mode where you just do everything yourself because you know it's going to be done how you want, right? But you have to be able to delegate authority, you know?
Right.
And he told me a story, which I told under here before, where he did this angle and he took care of everything except one thing, and that one thing got up. And he said, from here on out, I'm taking care of everything. But you can't. You got to delegate authority, dude.
Yeah.
Right. You can't sit there and say, like, okay, like, there was a mistake made, so I'm just going to go back and do anything myself. It's like, no, you have to, okay, what you need to do is, okay, a mistake was made. So you delegated authority to somebody else. Okay, you have to judge, okay, what's my margin of error going to be? If this person makes a mistake, how many, as opposed to, okay, this person made one mistake, and I'm going to, like, react to, like, okay, well, I'm going to start doing this myself. It's like, no, you got to understand, because then what you're doing is you're not looking at yourself in the mirror and realize, okay, I make mistakes too, you know, and stuff. So it's like, basically, it's like all the things, like what these guys need to start doing is judging everything on the metrics. Start delivering content, delegating things, and see if the numbers are improving. If the numbers are improving, you're doing something right because you're delegating authority in the right places. If they're not, then it's like, okay, you have to readjust. Maybe I should start doing it again myself or something. But that's the way that everybody's like right now is on metrics. Demos, ratings, numbers, everything. That's everything we should be judging things on. You know, because the wrestling business needs to grow. And for the wrestling business when it grows, our podcast grows. There's more fans. There's more people watching this. So, like, we're kind of like, you know.
You know who's got like a good mind for the business? Our boy, Lord Cyrus. They should give him a show with Jimmy Jacobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And see how they do.
But it's not a bad idea.
There's people out there. You know what I'm saying? But so that would be my worst things. Raw, inability to get together, and yeah.